Good evening. This video, YouTube, is going to talk about our guest lecture that we had on September the 30th, which was Mr. Burley. Mr. Burley is a CFP, which is a Certified Public Accountant. And he has, with the R, he also has a CFPGR. But more importantly, he came to our class to talk about mock interviews, your elevator speech, how to brand yourself, and how to build character and be successful. When he talked about these areas, he expressed the fact that everyone should have an elevator speech. Whether you're a student or potential employee, you have to be able to explain yourself to people in less than 60 seconds and get them to be able to say, okay, I can give you about 10 more minutes at another time. That is the success of an efficient elevator speech, is being able to talk about yourself in 60 seconds and be able to get a second interview. That is so important, to be able to get that second interview. He also talked about how do a person get your cheese. And the acronym for cheese means for C, to be competent in any field that you endeavor into. It talks about being honest. The H in cheese is being honest. The E, the other E in cheese, is having the experience necessary to be able to fulfill that job. The S in cheese is strategic planning, to know your market, how to find out whether you have the potential to be an asset to that company. And education, having the credentials that is needed to be successful, or in other words, how to get your cheese. And the cheese comes in the form of a job and potential growth. He also talked about character building when he talked about succeed, which is SUCCEED. Those initials stands for your signature. Your signature is your resume, which has to be outstanding so you can be given an opportunity to be interviewed. You, of course, is you. How do you present yourself to a potential employee? You must be able to not only walk the walk, but talk the talk. That includes that first impression, because you're not going to get another chance. Also talk about class, making sure that you know what class you belong to. You also, and the other C is considerate. You must be considerate of people's time and their talents, and make sure you don't take them for granted. And of course, as future social workers, we know that work ethics is so important in this day and time. You also have to be excellent in what you decide to do. Whether it is sweeping the floor or going for the CEO, you must be excellent in whatever you do. And D stands for dynamics. You have to be able to be above of everyone else, and that means you have to stand out with everybody else. Then the other acronym he gave us was career. Career stands for C, which is character, A, which is alignment of what you want to do so you know how to do it. R is for the reason why you're pursuing whatever career you want to do. E is the endurance, is making sure that you have the stamina to complete your tasks. E is, of course, education, making sure you have the proper education. And D is being compensated for what you have accomplished in life. Again, one thing I liked about his session was knowing that you have to brand yourself, you have to have great character building skills, you have to know your elevator speech, you have to be willing to sell yourself within 60 seconds or less. You also have to know where your competency level is. You have to be honest. And these are characteristics that no matter what degree you're pursuing, it is universal to be to be outstanding with other people when it comes to job seeking And more importantly, what can you bring to the table to that organization? Thank you so much. Those were important characteristics that I felt were helpful in his lecture.